In 2017, we decided that it was time to change out our 12-year-old kitchen cabinets. As you can see, they were disintegrating from water damage. So I found a group of metal contractors who were willing to turn my design into reality. I changed out only the lower cabinets because the uppers were still in great condition. Plus, I had limited budget. After the guys left, I ordered some pine wood and started making crates for drawers. Installed a new sink and prayed that I did the plumbing correctly. And then the most ambitious part, concrete countertops. We didn't have premixes here, so I made them traditionally with stone, cement and sand. I had to make 3 pieces and I made them on my dining table. Now, can we have a moment of silence here? Why do I never look like the DIYers on HGTV? The table could only hold 1 piece of countertop at a time, and each piece took a week to cure. Every time I flipped a countertop, I got some muscle power in to help me put the counter in place. Again, due to limited budget, instead of tiles, I decided to be creative with the backsplash. I DIY'd a chalkboard and did some random paneling with leftover wood. And this was how the kitchen turned out. I was pretty pleased with it. Hi everyone, it's so good to be back. And that was a photo montage of my first kitchen makeover in 2017. I knew then that it was not over yet because I do want to do something to the upper cabinets and do a proper tile backsplash. And now is the time. Personally, I do love an evolving space. I feel like even repainting the walls every few years brings in a different sort of energy. And I like that. So, I don't really know whether this is the last makeover for the kitchen. Only time will tell. Anyways, as always, I have a budget to work within, and it is not very big. It is 800 ringgit. Let's see if we can do this within that budget. Let's have a look at how the kitchen looks currently. Everything is still intact, what I did in 2017, except that our microwave died. Hence that weird looking empty shelf on the right. When we installed these cabinets, that weird looking shelf was supposed to be a straight shelf like the top tier. I got a contractor to modify it just to incorporate the microwave. Yep, that's the one. That's the one I'm talking about. It looks so weird now, right? Looking back, I wonder why I made that decision. Not such an aesthetic one, but a practical one, I suppose. Anyway, that shelf goes because we decided not to have another microwave. So this became my first task. You just saw me remove the extension lead and now I attempt to demo the microwave shelf, which, as you will see later, didn't quite work out. So this is the moment where I start to realize that this bloody thing doesn't want to budge. I need muscle power. As you can see, my first task failed miserably. So I work around it, literally. Now until I can get some muscle power to help me remove that microwave shelf, I might as well do some painting. Decided to paint the walls back to white again. And I'm terrible because I tend not to tape the edges up until I absolutely have to. So, don't be like me. Yup, I did tape a brush to a long stick, but it does the job. Cabinet doors, and they're gone. Ooh, someone is ambitious with color. Now, although these doors are melamine, but they are textured, which means I didn't really have to prep them. The oil-based paint stuck on quite readily. 2 coats were enough. The next day, I could install them back onto the cabinets. My original doors didn't have knobs because I wanted a sleek line. But I think with this next style I'm going for, knobs would look lovely. So, to drill the holes for the knobs, I made simple template and marked where I wanted the knobs to be. So that's painting done on the walls and the kitchen cabinet doors. And oh, I did manage to book me some muscle power. My hero. Hey. Whoa, look at the amount of silicone they use. That microwave shelf sure left a lot of holes, so I had to patch them up before painting. Sorry the table's a mess, but what I'd like to show you is I made this spice rack some time back. Now I have cut it down slightly because it was slightly higher than this, so I've cut it down to flush with the bordered backsplash. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another shelf on top here for some of the taller bottles that I have. So I'm going to do this with some 6-inch pine wood, and yep, hopefully this turns out right. And oh, I was contemplating whether to use the bigger subway tiles or the smaller one. I've decided on the smaller ones, but one way that you can have a look at how it looks on your new backsplash is to cut them out in little pieces and stick them together and see which one you like better. So but this side is not going to be subway tiles. Subway tiles is going to be that side, okay? And my cat is sitting there. This whole space is going to be subway tiles. And this side, I want to continue this style of wood backsplash. Here is a montage of me cutting up some wood and sticking them together to make a lipped shelf to be mounted above the spice rack. The result, hopefully, will be a cleaner look with space for taller jars. I'm really happy with that shelf. It turned out really nice. Next, I'm going to use some scrap wood to create a wood panel to the right of the spice rack. And it's going to look somewhat like the one behind the spice rack. Now because these are scrap, they come in different thickness and widths, and even different types of wood. I'm essentially cutting to size as I'm building the panels, like a jigsaw puzzle. Torching the wood really brings out the grain. This is actually a Japanese technique called sho sugiban. And then a coat of stain, and some acrylic paint, and we're ready to install. So what I'm using here is just construction adhesive, which would make the panels sturdy but not permanent, should I decide to change style one day. You know me. This next part of the makeover was pretty big for me. As much as I love the chalkboard with the coat that sums up our family, I'm ready for some tiles. Now because I knew that I was going to change this backsplash at some point in the future, I used silicone to attach the boards to the wall, which explains why they can pop off just like that. So basically I did not remove the original tiles, and when I'm going to install the subway tiles, I'm also going to install it on top of the tile. This part of the makeover is the part that scares me the most. because I've never tiled before. And even though I'm just sticking new tiles onto the old ones with construction adhesive, I still really don't want to screw this up. You can see I'm quite paranoid. I even taped off the size of the backsplash on my dining table and laid the tiles there first. And then, knowing nothing is really level, I drew a level line on the wall and used that as my guide. I should mention that when you see me pulling and pressing the tile onto the wall several times, that is a technique my cousin taught me. It makes the adhesive grab better if you do that. Construction adhesive takes many hours to cure, and the tile could just slip down behind the stove. So what I did was to apply some hot glue, and that would make the tile stay in place. It gives time for the construction adhesive to cure. And that's me being paranoid again. Guys, it's 1:10 a.m. and I'm about to finish the last two. Can I just thank my maintenance people for lending me this tile cutter? Probably not using it super correctly, but as long as it cuts my tiles. Oh my goodness guys, the scariest part is over. I'm so happy. And there's just one more thing to do, which is to install a herb shelf. Yep, I intend to plant some herbs in my kitchen. And you'll be asking, is there enough light? No, there isn't enough light. But I'm going to try planting herbs with the Sansi Growlights. So while I was shopping at ATKC's online shop for one, Mr. Ang, the owner, got to know about it and he said, I would sponsor you one. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, Mr. Ang! I got these industrial looking brackets online. I would link it in my description box below. Looks pretty darn good, huh? And here, I'm drilling through that panel there to insert a wire for a light fixture, which I also bought online, which I will also link in my description box. I should mention that this is a hard wire wall light, but I modified it into a plug-in light. I don't know if you've noticed, but I changed out the lampshade. I DIY'd a simpler one so that the light could breathe better because it's going to be on for 14 hours every day. Anyway, the project is done and I'm so happy with it. You know that kitchen took me a week to finish? Age is catching up and DIY seems harder, but I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to take my time because I still have so many projects lined up in my head. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this week. If you've enjoyed the video, do give me a thumbs up and do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And oh, I did work within my 800 ringgit budget. The total cost came up to 775 ringgit and 47 cents. Isn't that great? Here is a montage of my finished kitchen and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!